Welcome back, everyone. You see Impulse out here looking rather relaxed after that loss, but preparing their strategies, what need be, in order to take a win off of Team Liquid here. Now, before we head into Game 3 between Team Liquid and Team Impulse, we want to see how all of you have been sharing the championship weekend. Our first tweet comes from @Kene, who's watching the LCS on the go with the makings of a buddy comedy. Just Kene, Jet, and Kobe. Now, but remember, be safe out there. Friends don't let friends LCS and drive. So glad he's got it in the cup holder. Nice.
Looks suspicious right there. It is hands-free, but it's rather low to be able to see the road.
That is true. That's true. He's going to be quickly glancing down very, very often. Then from @Tarfu Gaming, who's having a blast. He says, I am never alone. Ziggs got the giant smile on his face. He's happy to watch the LCS. He's just facing the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Needs to be,
got two screens.
There you go. You're facing each other. And Bjergsen's got a new friend to watch today's action with as well. Here's a picture from @CoffeePower, who's captured our MVP and his trophy. Aw, Riv. Such a cutie. Finally, @SMC Rabbit and friends are staying up late in Portugal to watch our coverage. Obrigado.
Okay. All right, yeah. And now in Los Angeles as well.
Yes, that's where we are.
I think the new friend he was referring to was the trophy.
Yeah.
But Riv,
so. Maybe Riv and him weren't friends. I don't know.
The trophy's a cutie.
I was just remarking on on how cute Riv looked. Okay,
yeah.
jeez.
Unrelated.
I'm not going to stop you from commenting on Riv's cuteness.
Exactly, right? He's a good-looking guy.
Cute man.
All right, moving on. Stay connected with us on Twitter. We're @LOL Esports, and remember to use the hashtag LCS. But now let's get back to the business at hand with our third game, our third place match and third game between Team Liquid and Team Impulse. Now, Team Liquid, we just praised them for all of their team fighting, and I feel like that's going to be the way they walk away with the series. So for them in Champ Select, a lot of it's going to be making sure they secure the picks that give them the pick potential and the engage potential to follow through on it.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting with Team Liquid is they often prompt their own changes in Champ Select because I haven't seen them run the same team composition 2 games in a row. Even when they 3-0'd COG, it was a different composition every single time. Yeah. But one thing that has kind of remained true is they have only really been winning when they have a better team fighting composition as well as getting ahead. And that's what Team Impulse needs to deny them from having.
Can that be their downfall, though, Kobe? If they're changing their picks every game, sometimes unprompted. We've talked about, and we've heard from Crumbs, for example, in a best-of-5 series, play what works until the other team forces you to change it.
Well, they also, not always in these series, do teams switch sides. So the switching sides changes up the picks and bans quite a lot. We're actually swapping sides here again, I think.
No, it's actually the same side.
Oh, we're not swapping. We're not swapping.
Team Liquid is blue side, Impulse is red.
So they very well could do the same one again then.
All right, and then on the side of Team Impulse, though, as we saw illustrated there, not as successful in the team fights, trying to get ahead early, taking some early power picks that, if they are able to bully through the lane phase, can take over a game, but if they don't, get punished rather heavily.
Yeah, something Yasuo, I think, is the conversation they had outside there. I feel like they're going to stay away from Yasuo. Orianna was banned, which was a quality ban, but him falling back on something like his Karthus would have been huge last game and could also be huge. In a team fight-centric match, we're probably going to see.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it might even draw a ban, but I think that they definitely will go back to their roots. You know, more team fighting here. We keep on piling on, but I think that actually giving up that Rek'Sai is pretty big because Rek'Sai, the longer the game goes, the worse her team fighting. Her team fighting is not that good. She can be kited very easily, especially since both of these AD carry players play things like Kalista that can easily kite Rek'Sai very late in the game.
All right, well, we'll see what the picks are for Rush in the jungle there. We're going to send it over to the casters for Game 3. On the way, Quas says Team Liquid has a tough fight ahead of them, but they do see cracks in Team Impulse's armor.
They're a very random team. They can play really well and make really amazing plays. Most of them focus on their jungler, making the plays. But at the same time, they have weaknesses in mid lane, where Xiao sometimes dies a lot and he starts stealthing. And I think that's something that could benefit us. For myself, I have to watch out for impact. He has had a phenomenal split, and I think I have to play my best to just be on par or one-up him.
Definitely tasks for Quas to undertake here, but also all of those had a flip side as well. Xiao can die a lot in the mid lane, or he can also just continuously kill your team in the mid lane. It's we've obviously already seen it go both ways, and it could continue to go all the way to Game 5.
Yeah. He got a solo kill when he was down in CS.
Yes, he
allowed
did.
him to
30
close
or
that
so
gap.
CS. That's a kill in itself.
Yeah, exactly. Don't know how much the Yasuo pick will come out again.
Right,
Jap was
right.
saying something Yasuo. I think they're actually saying something but Yasuo.
Right. Well, the teams are poised and ready. You can see Peter there right behind Dominate. Fly on the end is talking to Impact as they get right back into picks and bans. Orianna and Urgot buy some vowels for our first bans.
Well, there's Nar. Silent
Gotta
B,
get
but
some
still starts with the consonant all the same. Sejuani, I actually like that a lot. Remove that from Dominate. I do think that teamfight junglers are the strong thing right here. It's also worth pointing out that I actually do believe in players having good days, and right now Apollo's having a very good day.
Yeah, for sure.
They ran
For
a
sure.
Protect the Cog comp last week, and Apollo's playing really well today. Rush can go back to Nunu. Try not to flash the top of the enemy team so much, and Apollo could single-handedly carry this Team Impulse squad.
Hecarim's up.
Just get that distortion, Nunu. You're good.
Great, more flashes. He can die more frequently. That's going to help.
So we see the bans back on the list. A few switches. Morgana is once again left up. Didn't seem like that was something Quas had too much trouble with once he was able to kind of get out of his lane and add pressure other places with those teleports. Hecarim will be Quas's first pickup. They have been picking that champion up for him to start things off. It's easy. Quas is consistent. Why not grab him something good as Corki and Gragas are picked up?
I
for
think
Impulse.
TIP are completely okay with this. They give over the Hecarim knowing that they will get a good jungler for Rush. This is the best jungler for him, in my opinion. The fact that it ganks very early on and then it scales better than Rek'Sai, it's just all around the best fighter jungler for his style. And we had even Santorin talking about it previously through a tweet.
Yep. No, I really like this as well from Team Impulse. Unless Team Liquid pulls out something really cool in their next round of picks here, I think Impulse played the red side of picks and bans really strongly. The top Shyvana is still available for Impact. It's someone that can actually match up, I think, decently against Hecarim. They have similar combat patterns. I think Impact can do fine. He's already switched to TP Smite. He already knows he's going for Shyvana here in this one. I would guess, actually, is his champion pick. The Corki Steel, of course, very strong as well.
One of the few here in North America to take that to the top lane. We see it so much in Europe. Actually see a lot of things in Europe that we don't see here in North America. To each their own. And we'll see now. Yeah, right, Shaco. And that lock-in for Corki could go to Apollo. He played it back in Week 6 and Week 2 and 3. So we'll see if it does go to Xiao in the mid lane, if it's not Apollo. Janna's picked up with that Rek'Sai as well for the side of Team Liquid.
And here we go. Support Nautilus
There's
will
that
come
shiv.
through to Adrian. Express took it over in Game 1. Apollo now gets it for himself. They're leaving this Corki as a counter pick, as a flex pick. Always smart to leave those champions for last to allow that flexibility in your team composition. I think it actually will go to Xiao, though. He was good at Corki. I agree, something, anything but Yasuo, the Orianna ban. He's been good on this. It's a high-like situation, right? There's a few champions he actually seems to excel on. Corki is one of them. Team Liquid now have to pick against what they actually, I think, can assume safely is mid lane Corki.
Yeah, what you have to do in this situation as Liquid is you have to pick a champion that can deal with Corki, but also doesn't have something that it can be just completely blatantly counterpicked by.
With this, the Corki has usually gone to Apollo, and Xiao would pick up Ezreal. So
That's interesting.
They may still swap and get something else. Could the Azir be coming out for Phoenix here?
Wow,
They do lock in the Piglet vein. Once again, the Azir gets locked in. There'll be some good team fighting coming from this Liquid squad.
It's going to be hard to reach him.
It will. Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody's move block isn't something that teleports them. They got to walk through stuff.
Yeah.
So, interestingly, Team Impulse could flex it around and go for like a Xerath mid. It's a good matchup into Azir. He can't reach you. I don't know if it's a Xiao type champion, right? I don't know if it's the style, but as far as compositions go, Xerath would actually fit this quite nicely for Impulse. Bunch of siege, a split pusher, good disengage from your tanks. That would work just fine. All that said, we get Phoenix back on Azir. Zyrina, I know you like the champion a lot on him. I like him on Azir as well. I think Team Liquid have put together a good comp. It is once again a multiple threat composition. There's a lot of damage output coming out of this lineup, but there is very little tankiness. Oh, Kassadin would be so good for Xiao. Oh, yes, pick it. This is actually the exact right champion to pick. Kassadin is great against Azir.
Hey.
You've seen Xiao do great on Kassadin himself.
Boom.
And it will be the bot lane Corki.
I've been going crazy the last month wondering why nobody's picked up Kassadin because he's so good on 5.6. He even got a buff on live with the stack duration. I know. I'm not going to be quiet about this anymore because there's so many different build paths on that work. Luden's Echo makes you just shred through people and you get extra stacks. Yeah, Luden's.
Ludens.
Is there an Echo in here? Anyway, but this champion does so much damage and he can get to Azir so quickly, and the fact that it's a 2-second cooldown at level 16 is absolutely absurd. Only a few people across multiple regions have picked up Kassadin on the 5.6.
The teams have panned out on both sides. You guys obviously are liking Team Impulse's composition, so Freak, give me your idea of what Liquid's going to be able to do here coming off their win with this comp.
So Team Liquid's comp is actually pretty decent as well, right? Their team fight is incredible. They've got Janna and Azir to help keep Piglet's Vayne safe. He's good in this champion. Hecarim, Rek'Sai both spike really hard early on, and they can transition that into forcing team fights off of mid-game spiking Vayne, mid-game spiking Azir. There's a lot of, like, first 25 minutes, awesome for Team Liquid. As we've seen so far in the series, first 25 minutes tends to dictate who wins the game in the first place. So all those things are in place for TL. Now, if that doesn't crush the game, then TIP has a lot they can do with this Kassadin.
All right, well, we will see as the champs load into the game. Let us know who you think is going to be victorious. Tweet hashtag TLWin or hashtag TIPWin at LOL Esports. And as usual, we'll be checking out those votes throughout the game. Also, feel free to make your tweets. You may even see those come up in the game as well. Be rooting for your teammates. They definitely need it here going into Game 3, and that's what we are about to see. We're on the Rift. It is Liquid versus Impulse, and these guys are ready, raring, and out of the base.
Game 3 here, and a lot of changes between these two guys and the compositions that they've drafted.
Yep.
Liquid, they went for a disengage, kind of split push with Hecarim, wait for the fight to happen, flank it. But they get to keep Azir and Vayne very safe with the Janna. And then if you look at TIP, it's back to Game 1, run you down composition, loves to start team fights. And the thing here too is when you pick Kassadin, he makes your team suffer from a lack of wave clear in the mid, but they picked Corki to compensate for that. So even if they get in a stall pattern, they will still have options and a way to kind of let the game get to where Kassadin's powerful.
And even the jungle Gragas gets to fill that role just a little bit here where he can help as well with those barrels, one of the few junglers who has good wave clear.
Exactly. That's the thing about Gragas that a lot of people don't take into account is that he's the only long-ranged wave clear tank jungler.
That's commonly played, yeah.
You max the Q first as well. It's very, like, level 9, he's able to help clear waves. And a big thing with Gragas as well is you can just apply pressure by showing up to a lane, 3v3ing, and constantly shoving and poking.
Yeah.
I actually want to see how the split push goes as well for Team Impulse. Once again, they have a team full of good split pushers. Kassadin, Shyvana, all fun things here. I'm just not sure how the matchups are going to go. Piglet would be, I think, happy to fight Impact on equal gold. Vayne tends to do well against bruises and tanks. Piglet can also outplay Xiao.
Adrian's going for the cheeky little Riptide invade.
But he's up against 3 people.
There's 3 people here.
Tumble on in. A lot of damage dealt. Adrian's going to get knocked up as well. He puts the root down on a Piglet.
Oh, boy.
He won't get the kill.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
It wasn't a lane swap. Here's the thing, though, is the support took all that damage versus the 80 carry.
And he's got Targon stacks. Like, pop.
Good point, Zyrene.
80 health, or 48, I guess.
That's actually a negative trade for Team Liquid. Because he only has 1 potion. He's not going to have that much sustain from especially none at all, actually.
Right.
Versus
You're just,
Targons and all these
potions. On biscuits.
Exactly.
Right. Absolutely. Good play there. You can see Apollo still trying to put on the pressure of the Frost Bombs immediately. So we do get a matched up game here. We're going to get a lot more pressure from the junglers to each lane. And we also get to see how Impact and Quas will match up on that very
he lands this.
Rush you down lane.
If he gets that level 2 and he lands the hook, we're going to have to see.
It's close. They're playing great defense on it as well, making sure that they keep that advantage, but not losing it with just a missed hook, because they don't lose anything out of that now unless they would have thrown it earlier and taken more damage. Good play.
Actually, Piglet didn't use his potion at all. He's just been trying to lifesteal off the wave, knowing that if he chugs that potion, that's the lack of an advantage here. Rush, though, we haven't seen him make early game moves in the last 2 games. He's going to make one here now.
Ignite popped in. E hits W as well. Phoenix pops barrier and flash.
Bye-bye.
And he still goes down. Rush gets the first blood gang.
That's the Rush that TIP has been looking for the last 2 games.
Give me a Rush. Great plays to start things off. That was just the Ignite there for Xiao. So kill pressure down, but safety is still there if he needs it, and Dominate and Phoenix want to go back.
The kill didn't go to Kassadin.
That's true.
It's not as bad for Team Liquid.
That's right.
But Rush with a kill, this guy does so many things early on. If this is going to be an early pressure game from Rush, Team Liquid, I thought they had weathered the storm. Game 1 and 2, it was like, oh, Rush isn't actually that huge of an impact on these patches, but now he's showing up in this Game 3, and it's only 3 minutes in.
The thing is he figured it out as well. We kind of saw him going for the damage Vi, or still the Cinderhawk Vi, rather. But then he's like, all right, I'll conform a little bit, but I'm still going to conform my way. Do it my way.
He's conforming to the non-conformists.
So that Bit of an 800 gold lead. Quas queuing his face off here in the bottom lane. Burnouts for Impact as he tries to keep that wave just off the turret. And see if Liquid can keep these small hits they've taken under control.
Yeah, so far this top lane matchup is going to be an interesting one. I've seen Hekarims and Shyvana as well run away with games and create so much pressure that they're almost impossible to deal with. Yeah. So as much as the teamfight comp is going to matter a lot, there's just so many lanes to watch for again in this game where any one of them could break the game wide open. Rush looked for the bot lane, will kill a ward that was purchased here, so that's gold down the drain, and it means the Quas has to play safely, because now he has no idea where his jungler could be.
And you were talking about the pressure that these two champions can provide. The two players on them have been known to take over games, and neither of them have smite. This is a jungler's paradise in the bottom lane.
Have flash.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. They don't have flash. That's
hook
okay.
after hook. Eagle Eye anchor over here from Adrian. Looks like he also gets the passive onto a special. You see Apollo was following that with a little bit of tunnel vision, and he did not want to take the damage from Piglet. So he backed off. He just blinked real quick.
Yep. Xiaowei, we see Dom off on the side. He was making moves last game.
Good flash. Flash Naga comes in, but Xiaowei is likely to still survive it all anyway. Flash for flash. Xiaowei loses his mouth.
He does have a lot of stacks of his Crystalline Flask, though, so he'll be in good shape.
And of course, he's not far away from hitting the level either. I'm having a hard time trying to find what level this guy is. There we go. He's almost 6. I couldn't hit the keyboard right. Yeah, he's like 80% of the way to level 6 here on Xiaowei. So Flash was casted in. Not always going to be a big threat.
You can see in bottom lane, Impact went back, got his Cinder, and he's ready to start shoving this lane as much as possible. Used his TP for it, though. And Quas now has his ultimate, has his TP very shortly. And like I said, or meant to say, they don't have flash. This is a very volatile lane matchup. As soon as this lane gets jungle attention and Impact has that pink ward to allow Rush a way in, that could start tilting the entire game.
Very true. Things to watch for, absolutely. Now, you mentioned the wave clear power of Gragas. Rush is actually maxing W this game.
Oh.
Because he just wants to fight people really hard, but it's 3 points in the Drunken Rage.
Gotta keep an eye on that. I tried that once in the jungle. It was, my clear time wasn't that great.
You don't sound too excited.
No. I mean, your clear time's not great, but that means that you get to bash some heads.
Definitely do get to bash some heads. They got the Cinders already on an Impact, and Rush, who himself is heading towards the top lane here. Looks like he will get a little bit of brush control. Those hooks from Adrian have been on point, and he may be able to connect with Piglet. Maybe even a special at this point, just to get advantage even more so in the lane.
Gragas could hit 6 off of the minion wave here. If he waits long enough is going to go down that he'll hit the ultimate. Apollo trying to bait the fight in. Of course, he's got flash and heal, so he's safe.
Yep.
And there's 6. There's the kind of special. Oh, preemptive flash. But they can turret dive this.
Very preemptive.
If they have to back off. They can't stay here. Ooh. With Xiao coming up, there's no way.
Good run by Xiao. Matched by Phoenix briefly, but
yeah.
Minion wave dies, and Team Liquid go right back in. Very, very crisp plays on both sides.
I thought about this a little more. You don't have to max the barrel first if you're going to go W and brawl people all the time. But also, he forewent his jungle item and went straight for the Cinder.
Right. I was going to mention that as he was heading top lane.
Oh, TP.
Oh, Void Rush towards the top side. That's quite far away for Dominate still, but it was the TP from Quas. Home guards here. Just before 8 minutes in the game, that's how he's going to make plays. He does it the same way last time, was taking harass from Impact, gets out of the lane, and makes the plays.
You can't push up that far when there's a TP disadvantage. Impact, he was pushed into his lane, he got his Cinder and TP'd in, so they knew he didn't have it up, and Quas used his originally to get back to lane after doing a camp at level 2.
Ouch, so a really good start then. Team Liquid back in the scoreboard here. They've tied up the gold as a result of all this. Impact is to push a couple of waves away, and he's actually going for a red buff steal as well. So Impact down in the bottom side of the map, while Dominate's going and getting his teammate a blue buff. Impact putting his smite to good use here.
Uh-oh.
There it is. He's going to be fine. He'll win the fight against Quas, by the way. It's Merc Threads and nothing else. Of course, Dominate's nearby, and Impact eats a tunnel and leaves.
Get the gold.
Just squats on the tunnel real quick. Thanks. I'm out. So Quas left to kind of chase back now. See if he is actually fully followed here by Dominate after he cleans up Krugs. They may try to get that red buff back right quick from Impact.
Rush can actually solo drag right now.
Yeah, Rush may know as well.
Rush could take drag. There's no ward control. This bot lane is just sort of, it's kind of a weak lane. It's 2 TP-less top laners without flash. They're likely to play pretty safe overall.
I mean, he took it last game, right? The only thing he had was going over the wall instead of straight at Dragon.
No, he wants to try and tilt this matchup, or at least get a turret for his trouble.
Sweeps it, but he gets spotted by hitting it all the same, and it's going to force Quas away. Quas does still have the ult. He didn't need it for his last gank, if I recall properly. It just means that Rush gets to help Impact, who takes the wave first. And this turret's going to lose a whole lot of health, but Bombi Cinder would pull turret aggro.
That's true.
So Quas finally makes that happen.
Yep.
Nicely done.
They're going to stay, but they're going to lose a lot of health for this one. They've got to run away. Great fear by Quas. Impact has to ult out of this one. Perfect play.
Ooh. Right at the edge of the turret range there, and it swapped to Rush.
Had to consider the minions. It was such a back and forth there, but he knew the situation could be pressured, and still pressuring. It actually gallops right by Rush. Unfortunately, Rush actually stays, and it looks like they are still going to walk out. A little gentleman's respect there as they turn away. The action's all over the map, however. Piglet offering up a nice condemned Adrian for the catch onto a special.
And this Team Liquid duo lane is going to feel pretty good now. They've got some lifesteal on the Piglet. Apollo, his recall was only for a Shigin and a Ruby Crystal, so not the most threatening AD carry right now. And Liquid can feel good letting Piglet scale up. Corki picked more for his laning phase and mid-game power, but Piglet's going to feel good.
Ward there.
Boop. Rush knocked up. He can't body slam because Dominate's blocking the way. Rush pretty tanky. Body slams the other way around. But Quas here to squash him there. A lot of damage dealt. Push for the wall. Flashes over. Good escape by Rush, but lose this flash for it.
Looked like he used the cast to catapult himself over the wall.
Right. Rocket jumping. Not just for Tristana.
That's right.
It's like a zig satchel.
Yeah.
Fast plays from Rush, but heady plays here from Team Liquid as they're trying to now get under the skin of Impulse. See Piglet back in the top lane, donning his skin.
That's true. He switched.
Yep. He felt like he earned it.
He did. I'd say he did, yeah.
Give you that one.
Second game. They're putting a lot of pressure. Not a lot of pressure, but they're allowing Piglet to play those champions he wants. They said that trusted communication spiked at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Seeing a little bit of that here throughout the games, especially in the semifinals.
It is worth pointing out, though, what's different this game compared to the other ones. In game one, Xiao got out of his lane without a hitch, got a lot of farm, was a big high-impact AP mid laner. Game two, got booped on a bit by Phoenix, and life was difficult. But here we are again. Xiao has an assist to his name. He's got a CS lead, and he's going to scale like no other. So the pieces are here for Team Impulse to scale into this game nicely.
Yeah, and it's a really good matchup for him, too.
Yep.
Cast it into Azir's. Azir was coming back for a while there. But Caston's definitely a champion that can take it to him. And Rush, he just walked by a pink ward. Phoenix needs to react a little bit faster than that.
Boom! Taste my belly! He doesn't get him, though. Unfortunate. That was a nice ultimate. The Emperor's Divide may have kind of stopped them from getting where they needed to go in the end.
I'm surprised it didn't knock back Gragas. Looked like it went through him, but either way.
Yeah.
Flash forced by Phoenix. Barrier used as well, so a no summoner, no ult Azir. Definitely going to be something to put attention on. Dominate. Going to go ahead and get some wards down on the top right side of the map. Maybe track some of Rush's moves. Impact and Quas, this battle still pretty close. A 4 minion kill difference. And then, by the way, this is with 2 kills on Quas. Impact still feels fine, but here comes Dominate. He's got to outplay with his ulti. Gets smited, runs with the W, has boots 1, won't get chased.
Gotta love that burnout, being able to just run out of scary situations. Especially not having that flash. Also a reason Dominate's trying to hit that lane up a little bit. But 102 to 101, it's just the kills that Impact is lacking in that lane. A teleport could easily change that soon. I figure this turret could go down quite quickly, and then there would be dragon pressure towards the bottom side of the lane. Lot on the table right now for Impulse, and it looks like they'll actually leave this one up for now. Maybe they'll just rotate bottom before taking it.
It looks like Team Impulse would rather have a good recall here.
Yeah.
Not get behind the minions, get rid of the pressure.
Well, they're just
Dragons on the map.
They're going to take it with 2. Double smites.
And the rest of the team is heading down the mid lane just in case something fun does
Right.
happen. Quas is already allocated top lane. He's got teleport, but there's not going to be a chance for Liquid to contest this. Good timing by Impulse. They preempted it.
Man, I'm so sad as a jungler right now because my top laner usually has a stronger smite than me because he's a higher level.
Dang.
Yeah. Like, usually when you're going for a Baron now, the jungler's the one peeling the other
Yeah,
jungler
but now
out
you have some...
and the top laner stays in like, I got this smite, you guys.
clearly have somebody else to blame in the end.
Yo,
It's true.
Yeah. Well, it's still the jungler's fault.
Really? All right.
In a way, that would happen.
Nobody ever blames the top laner for missing smite.
Yeah, I mean, I play a lot of Callista. I still blame the jungler if we miss Dragon.
Yeah.
It's like 700, like 1,700 damage rend. Like, why'd you miss smite, bro?
Well, neither of these guys are going to be rending a Baron. It's all up to Rush and to dominate this game as all the lanes match up once again. Just flipped up on this side of the map now.
But Impulse got the advantage for it, of course. Now, the dual lane's actually harder.
Yeah,
it's non-Triforce versus Rune King. Yeah, the Dragon was big. Impact feels great in this fight as well.
Ulti?
Whoa! It just completely clears the minion wave with Tide, and it looks like they're going for the fight. They wasted a lot to get in position for this. The TP is coming in from Impact. He has Dragon's Descent up, and he flies right for Dominate, tries to take a bite out of the hindsight on Rek'Sai. The rocket comes through, actually, for Apollo to clean that up. Heal and Flash have already been used for engage, so no disengage is there for Liquid, and that may cost them now as this fight is going long. The Impulse trying to come in now, doing what he can. Impact looks to bite once more. Adrian goes down to Quaz. He could clean up as he comes out with a teleport now, but he is missing a bit of the abilities, and him and Impact really have to consider this fight as Xiao roams down.
He's got to be careful for Xiao. He couldn't chase through the burnout either. Phoenix was back in base. He's walking in, so Xiao will be there first. This turtle died to one auto attack.
If gets kills,
it's going to be bad. Rek'Sai. Quas really close to dying. There's the first kill. Special has nowhere to go, but Dominate's going to buy him some time.
Down.
Azir still not on the chase. Another kill picked up. Advantage Team Impulse.
Where was Phoenix that entire time?
He recalled.
He recalled.
And then walked.
He was just back in base and he went back to mid.
He might have gotten into a skirmish with Xiao and lost it because Phoenix's ult is down. So I think Xiao did cool things to him earlier.
Beginning.
It looks like he took a brawl in the mid lane and he wasn't able to continue. But this right here, just Adrian overextends for this. They eventually get the TP in. It should have been a little earlier, and also Impact arrives without smite up, and look at this Phoenix. Oh man, you talked about no ulti previously.
The tank duo.
Man, now it's just the Bruiser squad.
Yep.
I guess it's kind of a bounce house still, but
Not bouncing for Cassidy.
You're bouncing off bellies now.
So I just rewatched that. Phoenix was hit behind the red buff on the way down, took Xiao's Ignite and everything after that, so he did have to go back. But he is also back right now, trying to come back up from going down. Are looking at the bottom lane right now as Liquid tries to pressure that, get themselves a little bit more pressure on the map in general. Definitely have the vote behind him.
Xiao is going to be a big problem this game. He's 30 CS up, and you talked about how in game 1, they got it off the back of Xiao's farm on Orianna. He's back to farming at an exceptional rate, highest CS in the game, and he's got a kill and an assist with no deaths on Cassidy. Rod of Ages stacking up. He's ready to get going on this guy, and there's not a whole lot of answers to him.
Nope. I think actually Vayne can be quite good against Cassidy.
Vayne's okay, but he can just burst everybody else. I don't think Vayne's going to be his priority target.
No,
I think he'll go after everyone first.
No, I agree. If Piglet gets gold, he can at least try to pin him on a wall and deal some damage. But you're right, Xiao, very hard to pin down. He almost single-handedly carried his other Cassidy game against Team Solo Mid.
Right.
Bought so darn much time. Xiao looks for a CDR item next, so Roa into maybe Morello's. Interesting choice. Piglet being left alone in this bottom lane, though, only handled by Rush. Where's the rest of Team Impulse? Piglet getting a lot done right now.
Slow movement for everybody around the map here. 5-5 on the kill board. And with Impulse having that little bit of a lead, we know Liquid will start to work it slowly. Dominate's been trying to be the factor, or rather the catalyst to those plays. Phoenix getting the best of Xiao here in the mid lane. Letting him know he cannot tussle with that Azir just yet.
And last game, Dominate had 100% kill participation.
Right.
He was involved in all 17 of the kills. So the team really excels when he's on his game and setting these team fights up. And right now, he's not as on top of it. Rush has been actually making early game moves and throwing him off his game a little bit.
It's that confidence we were talking about. Branches out if somebody really has it. Sejuani was how Dominate got that to his team last game. They got absolutely rid of that Sejuani. It was that and Nunu back and forth. And the way they're playing the style right now, Nunu doesn't seem to be the way that it's going to fit Liquid's comp. Could in the end. They try to protect that Vayne even more, but right now they're kind of leaving Piglet to do his own thing, but still with the team when he needs to be.
And it is okay for Team Liquid to play a slower game. I think back to their big win over Cloud9 in Game 2, where not a lot happened early game, but they had a blood-boiled Azir who hard-carried teamfights. It's okay to play that way.
Right.
Yeah. Up against the Kassadin and the Shyvana, it's a little risky,
Sure.
but they do have a Vayne, they do have an Azir, and the question is, can Quas still hold up against Impact?
That answer is no.
It's brutal. They're just
Triforce
swinging.
done, and he still loses the fight. Like, Impact has done a great job of scaling. He's got a lot of armor now to back up the Cinderhook health, and Impact will continue to be really crazy. And the thing is, both these champions are going to start falling off in terms of damage. Triforce Spike is done. Quas only gets tankier from here. Impact's hit level 13 by now, so that his 2 big damage skills are also already fully ranked up.
Yeah.
And it's just tankiness grows, which I think is better for Impact, who's got some percent health damage in the kit.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on both AD carries this entire series. There's always somebody gunning for them, gunning for that back line. And if these two titans at the top lane start spilling into team fights instead of at each other, Apollo and Piglet, their positioning becomes absolutely key.
Quas, he has parked himself on the fountain, waiting to teleport in for the team right now. And it doesn't look like they're actually going to need him for this, so we may just see him run towards the top lane and handle that wave. Looks like he'll be quite safe as he gets there. So good moves. Team Liquid is always prepared here for that home guard window, but his impulse, that could really swing the game here.
I'm surprised Team Liquid actually got the Dragon. They're down 3,000 gold. They had no right to really getting that. Impulse just kind of let that one go, despite a lot of dominant lanes. No turret pressure really gained for that. Baron doesn't seem like it's on the table, but this mid lane is. Ooh. Phoenix knocks one back, but Impact's already there. Barrier and Flasher pops. Impact dives into the tier 2 turret. Mid lane adder goes down. Impact forced to run away. No one's here to flank him.
Quas is on the fountain again. He didn't stay in the top lane.
Right.
And wasn't able to cover that zone. So.
They have great TP wards all around. Also got to look for those Rek'Sai tunnels.
They're putting so much on keeping Phoenix down and getting Xiao ahead.
It's a good lane. It's very easy to gank assist as Kassadin against someone who's honestly fairly defenseless here. Very good play by Impulse. They operate best when these guys actually make these aggressive plays. They're smart enough players. Their game sense tends to be right for many of these dives. And having lanes that are winning allows Impact to head over, allows Apollo or Adrian to head over, and they can keep making these plays. We just keep seeing Phoenix's cooldowns go down, and he's often killed when he has flash now, when he has no flash.
And playing against an Azir, there aren't a whole lot of fun things about it, but the fun thing that I find is you can actually outplay his escapes. You can stunt his E, his shifting sands, and you can stop the Emperor's Divide and just flash over or juke him. So using mechanical skill when you get in on these ganks, his escapes are actually much more limited if you have that type of finesse to stop him.
Well, that's what Rush feels he has.
Yeah.
He said on the analyst desk, mechanical skill is what allows me to build the way I build and play the way I play. Depth charge, however, keeps Piglet at bay for a little bit on that fight. The Monsoon for a good heal, and Quas does come in with the teleport, but it is not going to be utilized right away. The flash, as soon as it is up, it was used to take down Phoenix last time. It's used to take down Phoenix again as Rush comes flying through, and they may be able to continue this fight. Xiao with another rift forward could end another champion's life, but Dominate goes down by the hands of Impact here as they start to push on. Here comes the confidence from Team Impulse, and we finally get to see a brawl in this third game.
4 big kills and Baron, exactly, Irene. Baron is on the table. They've got both smites up right now, used it in the fight, but 2 charges, of course. Xiao gets some time to heal, but there's no contest whatsoever. What a great team fight. What a great collapse by TIP.
Yep. They just smited it to do it faster, and also the fact that the top laner's 2 levels up, so his smite is actually stronger at this point. They're just trying to burn it down and get out of there.
That's theirs. Nicely played, Team Impulse. The Shyvana top lane doing just fine against Hecarim, and the Kassadin counter pick great as well. This team fight starts, with a really good Triforce burst, and then just a lot of chasing power.
The chasing power, the heal. He doesn't get the root off afterwards, but then they recollapse, and that gives Piglet confidence. But there's been a team fight going on in the jungle, and Xiao shows up to it, and he does so much damage. The Righteous Glory from Rush being popped to give Xiao that extra mobility to get to Phoenix. And you can see here, it's the collapse. They leave Piglet out 3-man. But here's the thing, it's 2. And that's the power of the Kassadin right now. He has so much mobility. He has the rank 2 ultimate, 4-second cooldown. And that's the thing, is people were always like, oh, it's a lower cooldown, but they didn't take into account that gives him more mobility. They took off 200 range, but he'll cover more distance given the same amount of time, and he'll do more damage. because he gets more casts off frequently.
Definitely a lot harder to assess where your skill shots are going to go as well. Kind of difficult to know where to put your soldiers when you cannot figure out where your opponent's going. 9-5 as it was 5-5. 4 quick, clean kills going over the side of Team Impulse after we had seen quite a bit of lull in the game. All really started from Rush being, again, in the face of his opponents somewhere in the jungle where they just did not expect him and expect the unexpected from these guys. We have Impulse now towards the bottom lane, but Impact still towards the top without TP, so that means he's going to be staying there.
Looks like Team Liquid going to be happy to keep playing the split push game, knock a bunch of waves around. Dragon's a minute and a half away. Impact gets a little bit of free time in this top turret. Impulse definitely taking a bit of their time on this one. And of course, they are in the driver's seat. They're up 7K gold.
Bite it.
This is actually really scary for upcoming champion selects.
Yeah.
Since there will be more games regardless of the outcome of this one.
Absolutely.
The fact that Xiao's showing that he plays this Kassadin and they get red side next game too
Counterpick
is very scary. The counterpick potential, you can't throw another ban at that unless you drop something that you already think is a high priority given the series.
Right.
So this is a big pocket pick for Xiao that he's brought out here.
And look what happened when TL played that Azir. It got banned the next game. They're going to be forced to now ban Xiao's Kassadin as they did the Orianna. No more bans towards Impact. It's going to be hard to decide. Maybe they can. It's their choice, but it's only going to get more difficult.
Or you blind pick something that does well against Kassadin to try and dissuade it, but it's still a blind pick, and then he can just pick something that's good against that.
It's not getting any easier, and right now it looks like the engage towards Dominate is going to make it that much harder here. 25 minutes into the game. Pressure will not lead to a kill on that one, but Impulse pretty much owns this side of the jungle as Liquid tries to fight back for it.
Here we go, the fight coming on in. Piglet forced to back off of this one. Impulse happy to play the poke game for now. In and out, the name of the game for these guys. Buff up the minion wave in the bottom. Azir Soldier's not doing too much work as Impulse is so tanky. Righteous Glory popped. Will they dive in? The turret's still standing. Impulse a bit over aggressive on this one, squandering some of that advantage, and Baron buff is timed out with really nothing gained for them.
It depends on what they do in the next couple of seconds here.
Dragon's up. They have to go for that first.
They had to go for the Dragon. No ultimate on Azir.
Yeah.
That's kind of the caveat there, is they traded Righteous Glory for that, and that's pretty much it. They kept all of their summoner spells. They didn't blow anything on either side.
I think there was more Impulse could have gotten over the Baron buff, but all said and done, this team's going to scale quite nicely. Vayne does not seem to be a threat whatsoever. Still only on 2 items 26 minutes in. Apollo even goes for Ruin King, so his high-end damage output actually quite nice against sort of a double tank comp here. A lot of good things in Impulse's inventories.
So 2-1 in Dragons. These teams now start to fly out of the base. A little bit of a tussle in the top lane between these guys. Looking at the inventories as well, Imp Special has just picked up that Mikhail's. A little bit more help for Piglet or anybody who wants to get crazy in these fights. Getting these priority core support items finished now could really do the trick. You see, though, Impulse, not afraid to fight, are going to be diving straight on through, trying to get Special to ult immediately and do whatever they can to keep that stick from Nautilus and the rest of the team on.
Phoenix is 3,000 gold behind right now. He just got a Void Staff after Athene's to the completed Zonias in Xiao's pocket. He's a full item behind, 60 CS down.
Yeah.
And TIP, so far, they've shown really, really good leads off of Rush making an early impact on Xiao's lane. Putting resources into Xiao seems to be paying off now. Previous sets, it didn't seem to be that way. But this is a guy that you even heard the feature where it's like, he's prone to tilt. Yep. But he also goes the other way, too. He goes really hard, and if you get him an advantage, he's going to crush the enemy team.
That's the thing about tilting. It can go forwards, it can go backwards.
Then it's called swinging.
Swinging goes like forward.
I know, you can tilt either way.
Swinging goes forward and backwards.
Yes.
So we'll see what they can do. Both AD carries making builds that could definitely help their team out. But with eyes on Piglet, we'll see if Liquid can force through this fight, getting him some big kills in that first column. Minute and 30 on to Baron. Who's the initiation now? If we kind of look at Team Liquid, Quas is going to have to get something perfect, and everybody else just kind of sits back. We saw the last Azir ultimate in the bottom turret being more of a nope, you can't have this, than anything of an engage.
All the gold is on Quas. You can see he picked up a pickaxe. You can see he's trying to carry the team and just do as much damage as possible. Right. They first picked this Hecarim. It's got the kills from the team. He's still having a hard time with Shyvana, and this is another thing that they have to think about on Team Liquid's side with the priority on the Hecarim, and even though it's doing well, it's not doing well enough.
Liquid's not, I was going to say they aren't acting on it, but Dominate probably called that he was safe with the ability to get over the wall. They have that ward placed, but they're still clearing a lot. They're still getting camps instead of organizing over here. Telling me that Liquid definitely does not want to take a fight, even if they have somewhat of a pick. This team, Impulse, can close too easily.
Yeah, Impulse happened to play the split push game for a very long time and try to continue to build off of their individual leads.
Yeah.
Liquid just needs time to scale, though.
Well, TIP are at peaks right now for a good portion. Xiao, rank 3 ultimate, level 16. He's got, you can check it right here, a 1.35 second Rift Walk. Basically a 1 1/3 second every cast.
Yep.
And then down bottom, level 17, 2 level advantage in both top and mid in the solo lanes. They get to pretty much force their way into this Baron, no problem.
Yeah.
And if Team Liquid look for a fight, they don't even have to look for the fight on TIP's side. They can just bait Team Liquid in and then turn.
Yeah, there's no easy way for Liquid to fight this battle at all. Shyvana's still pushing bottom lane, that's fine. Impact won't make much progress, but who cares? Mid lane cleared, Impulse goes back in. Strangely, they are still not looking to press on this Baron just yet. A almost overly patient game here by TIP. They send the AD carry back. He's got a Last Whisper. Same for Rush, who's picked up, looks like, a Glacial Shroud as well.
Really great bit of timing there by Impact. He did not go all the way back. Expected Quas to sit on the fountain. He got a free bottom turret for it while everybody dances around the Baron. Cheeky nice. Little plays by Impulse there.
Yeah, doesn't want to let him sit on the fountain and
right. Yeah.
have to worry about anything. He wants him to be present in these lanes, because if you actually just keep the Hecarim accounted for, he doesn't get home guard.
Absolutely. Well, it worked out for him there, and it looks like Impulse once again standing at Baron here in this series. Oh, they could go straight for Dominate. Phoenix over the wall. He gets the fight from far away. This is Azir's happy point, but it doesn't look like he's able to deliver much damage. He gets a teleport right behind him. A double kill for Apollo as they start this one off. Piglet is now a bit of the focus. Dragon's descent right onto him. That was the Randuin's coming off, and it looks like he is in somewhat of a safe spot, and he will get away from Impact. The rest of the fight is kind of fizzling out on the other side, but Impulse showing their strength once again in this game 3.
Like I said, they just have to bait it. There's no adequate vision despite having a Rek'Sai and the Tremor Sense. TIP is just going to turn, use Righteous Glory, and rush you down because they have superior levels in multiple lanes.
They didn't even second think it. It was instantly stopped. There was one guy we can get, take him down.
And they could focus all their attention on hitting essentially a tank out of the jungle because they're so far ahead.
Good point.
They've still got cooldowns left. Quas waiting in the wing. Rek'Sai will pop to rejoin. Xiao tries to get a special, pushed around by Piglet. Baron is stolen by I Will Dominate, but it's still going to be a very hard team fight. Impulse picks up 1 kill. 5v4, half full health bars. And it's going to peter out for now.
With the split push comp that Impulse have, I'd say that's pretty darn good steal right there.
That's absolutely massive. I still feel like Impulse has so much more they could do in this game, though. So much more they could push out. The gold lead's still 10,000 despite the Baron buff here.
That's the first rung of the ladder for Liquid.
Yes.
They're climbing back in this one.
They need to be able to get more off of this. This is pretty much damage control. Their base doesn't crumble anymore.
Right.
And they get to catch up a little bit in levels. The big thing was Quas down 3 levels there, and then Phoenix was down 2. And now they get to catch that up. They get to catch these waves. They don't have to worry about the objectives for a little bit, and they get to just kind of get back to equal and close a little bit of this gold.
It's interesting because I feel like Liquid are torn a bit here. They're down 10k, which means they've got so much work still to do, but there's 2 outer turrets like waiting to be taken down, but are they strong enough to even fight the enemy team? Impulse, they get an uncontested Dragon. Impact shows top lane to stop the wave that Quas pushed in, but is unwilling to actually hit the turret himself. Like, Baron buff buys a bit of time, but Impulse is still the stronger team on the map where they can still choose any fight they want.
The Void Rush in Quas. There's 2 smites on the team of TIP
37
as well. Wait a second.
They both smited early. I think they both smited.
Yep. I think they might have been smiting to just try and do it faster. I can't even tell what happened there. It looked like it went down to 21 HP.
Yeah. Maybe like a Sunfire tick did.
Yeah.
It was like the smite hit it to 37. And, you know, life was painful for Dip fans there as they lost that.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But that's a good boost for Team Liquid coming into this.
Dom confirmed that it was a Rek'Sai Chilling Smite.
Yeah.
Rek'Sai Chilling Smite.
I knew Dom smited it.
Yeah.
Because he was out of range for everything else. Q couldn't
I don't know if he
people
came
in the
down
way.
earlier, but good. Good on him. He outsmites 2 people.
Many props to our eyes in the sky. Thank you very much.
All right, mid lane outer is going to go down. Looks like Team Liquid happy to say we're down in gold, but we still need some of this to come back our way. At least one of these structures does fall. 2 to 4 in turrets overall. Impulse making slow work structure-wise themselves.
Something that has kind of gotten me about Team Liquid is whenever Quas does really, really, really well. He did okay last game, but whenever he does really well, he had that Fizz game. He had another game that he was just carrying on. It's the other team isn't there with him. It's nobody else is really putting forth in the game, and it's such an unfortunate situation that happens like that for them almost all the time. Quas trying to start this one off towards the top side now.
Adrian.
Still being the brute he is. He is the biggest, and he has to start things off with the team.
Finally, Impact rejoins the battle. Phoenix gonna hit up in the back line. Rush taking up a lot of pain, though, as Xiao gets in on a dominate. There's a kill picked up. Adrian, the only casualty, but there's so much chase power left. Phoenix nearly going down. Who's going to deal the killing blow? It is going to be Impact and Xiao collapsing on everybody. Special goes down as well. Quas, the only one alive, can run away for now. Impact still in the chase. Just going to go for the turret.
And the triple kill there for Xiao.
Yeah.
The enigma throughout the season, pulling out the Kassadin here and getting fed and carrying a lot of this game in terms of damage.
There's a lot more still to do, though. 20 seconds on the death timers. Enough of a minion wave to knock down this turret and the inhibitor right after it. Apollo's got plenty of damage to the Trinity Force. That's going to fall. Still 7 seconds, and I will dominate. The home guarded Xiao just goes and clears mid, so it looks like Impulse will stop at the inhibitor.
Quas just trotting around and trying to do what he can. These are going to stop the backs. What can they get off of this? That's going to be a 1 pop-up. Actually, Dominate doesn't get too much off of that.
He got the Valkyrie.
Just fly through. Onslaught of Shadows, providing a bit of damage. Apollo squeaks out alive. He flies through the turbulence, gets himself to safety with that Summoner heal. Now it's up to Impact and Rush. That's going to be the body slam away. Burnout's not going to give Liquid a chance to catch, and they get out with the blue buff.
So close there. Apollo actually had his Valkyrie stunted by the knockup.
Right.
But just, like you said, squeaks by. Blade of the Ruin King damage. A little extra HP there.
Yep.
Yeah, just able to walk around. So, nice gumption by Team Liquid. It's nice to see that they are not playing too terribly afraid. They took down the mid lane outer turret. They took this re-engage here where they almost knocked down this AD carry, and if the fight went a little bit longer, Piglet could have rejoined, the chase could have happened. Nearly some great things for Team Liquid, but the game is slipping farther away. It's a 13,000 gold. But Dragon 3 has already been picked up.
Despite being down that low, they aren't afraid to try and make plays to get themselves back into the game, which is good to see, and it means their mentality hasn't been suffering that much, despite that they gave up these leads early.
Yeah.
Oh, they're trying to trap him.
One of the best score lines, really, for a team I've seen. 4 to 5 kills across all your priorities, no kills on the support, all assists. These guys are just getting the game right now.
Oh, man. You can trap the Kassadin, but I don't know if he's actually trapped.
Yeah, good luck. He's the only guy that hasn't died for a reason.
Yeah.
So mid-tier 2 is getting worked right now by Impulse. Not much that Team Liquid can do. They can only find safety behind the walls of their base here, and they hope that the choke point give them a little more life here in this game 3.
Kassadin split pushes the bottom lane. 4 members sit in mid. Top inhibitor going to pull attention as well. Impulse, easy rotations back and forth across these lanes. Of course, Team Liquid ready to make those same moves themselves. Impulse only getting a very little bit of turret damage down.
They're almost not giving them any space. They just walk right up to the turret.
Yeah. Well, the Azir wave clear and the Azir poke is just so darn strong. It's hard for Impulse to dive here because the peeling is so strong for Team Liquid. They can only play rotations, but Trinity Force Corki, good at chunking turrets down. Jan, of course, got to keep him alive. Impulse, it's very hard for them to play this push game.
Can't happen forever. Phoenix running out of quite a bit of mana here without being able to get his blue buff that Impulse has been stealing. It's a matter of time.
And the thing is, Dragon 4 comes up in a minute. Baron comes up in 45 seconds. Impulse just have to just rotate back and forth, keep minion waves under control, keep vision under control. You get both neutral objectives. You push with Baron, and then Phoenix can't wave clear anymore.
Yeah, you still got to respect this Azir, though. As soon as he starts hitting item spikes, gets the stinger, gets another damage item under his
he's
belt,
just getting to that.
It's going to be really difficult to deal with him. He'll be able to shred your squishies. But Xiao, if he can go ahead and get to the back line and blow him up faster, then he can deal damage. Oh, haunting guys.
He wants the power spike right now. He knows climactic battles are coming. I want to see if Liquid can test for Baron.
You can see the source potion on Special as well. He wants to even get a little bit more of his ability. So they're definitely putting a lot of the gold into the items to fight now instead of reaching their cores.
Yeah.
The last core items, I should say.
Right now is really important. This is the Baron that would win Team Impulse the game most likely.
Yeah. They already got a minion wave crashing into that top side.
Since the last Baron, the gold lead's only gotten bigger for Impulse. We have people hitting those 6-item spikes, making it so that they will be as powerful as they'll ever be in this entire game.
Yep.
On TIP's side.
And they're ready to keep going.
Liquid, they bought the items to try and deal with this at this moment. Dom's walking up again. Is he going to get it a second time? It's going to be rough.
Try to follow through. Impact into the fight. Gets bounced back by Emperor's Divide.
Oh.
Nobody chases on the Captain Boots follow-up there, but they still take down Dominate to the backside. Onslaught of Shadows just tramples over Apollo. No more providing DPS for him. Now going on to Phoenix. There was just too much chaos in the fight with Rush bouncing people around. Xiao himself hopping around, and Impact flying through the middle. Team Liquid fall accordingly to Impulse's fight.
4 kills picked up. Into the top lane they go. They've got minions in the base right here. Impact gonna stop Iquasa's recall. So there is no defense in a 3 versus 0. Make that a 4 versus 0 inside the base. Impulse are gonna be winning game 3 here.
Very, very well played by both teams. Back and forth match with Impulse getting that mid-game gold lead to bring it now to 40 minutes, 21-7. Game 3 goes to Team Impulse.
Once again, playing a team fight comp, putting resources into Xiao, and then snowballing the game from there, knowing Impact is going to be a rock, despite bans being thrown at him constantly.
And it was so important for Impulse that both Impact and Xiao got running. Apollo's life was miserable this game, dealing with an incredibly well-played Quas Hecarim. The guy went 6-1-0, constantly attacking the back line.
Yeah.
Most gold in his team. Quas did great by himself. That Hecarim first pick was very strong, but there was someone else to deal damage. You had Kazan come in, kill the Azir, kill the Janna, kill the Vayne, whatever, it doesn't matter. Someone else is going to deal that damage, even if Corki has to kite away. And that was good by Team Impulse.
And there's some really interesting things here in this game. Rush went back to his old habit, get in the lanes early, affect them, was involved in 19 of the 21 kills. And here's the thing, if he didn't do that, it would have been absolutely terrible, because Phoenix, despite being 0-6-1, did the most damage in the game by a pretty good margin.
Yeah.
And what a game that turned out to be. I remember, as D-Man would say, cast your mind back to when I said it's 5-5 right now in kills, and then it was 9-5, and the game ended up 7-21. So after that 5-5 point, Team Liquid only got 2 more kills throughout the entire game. So that just even goes to show the dominant since the Impulse was put
16-2 in late game team fights. No, I got you. Yeah, we're there. 16-2 in late game team fights. That's the math of what you just said right there.
Absolutely.
That is Cassian coming online. That is Azir being held down, so that even though we had damage, just it wasn't enough to kill people. Absolutely massive here. I now think of game 4 in Champ Select. The Azir gets banned because Cassian's going to get banned. And that's the adaptation that TIP have to save their third ban for. They save their third ban for Azir if Cassian is banned. I think it's a must-have for both these teams.
Yeah, banning towards the top lane just doesn't seem to be doing it. Impact is going to find a champion that he's effective on, whether it's Gnar, whether it's Shyvana. That's the thing, though, is you really have to think about that really hard, because now it looks like Xiao's the person you have to start banning out with more than one.
Right. How many teams came into this saying, oh, this is what TSM did, we'll just keep banning towards the top lane, maybe throw a Twisted Fate in there so Xiao, they can't get the composition game that they want. But what do you do now, right? That's what we were talking about. They banned out Xiao's Orianna, seeing that was so good, leaving it up a game. Now, do they ban the Kassadin and then they still focus Impact? We were talking about that in the game.
Well, here's what's scary, actually, is you have to now question how deep the champion pool is.
Yep.
Because
that's true.
You're like, okay, so your Orianna was good. Okay, get rid of. Shoot, okay, your Kassadin's good too. Okay, what if there's another champion that's really good and TL didn't see it coming? Right. They waste that fourth game. They're probably out because of a great play by Xiao. Maybe they have to pivot. Maybe they say, you know what, you're going to be good regardless.
Vladimir or something still.
Yeah, you might be able to ban out the Kassadin and first pick the Gragas and just be like, Impact can have whatever he wants. Or you let them get the Kassadin last pick, but you take the Gragas so you have something that's early game pressure.
We'll see. Well, we definitely have more people to talk about this, because right now we're going to throw it to our guys on the analyst desk to break down Impulse's second win of the series.
Thank you, Riv. And I mean, they're obviously already speculating as to what's going to happen in the next game, because we pull out that Kassadin. I know Zyrene is a huge fan of the Kassadin.
He talks about it a fair bit.
Has a lot of power behind it, and it was illustrated here. We saw what an early gank from Rush did there in the mid lane, get him just that little bit ahead and let him roll.
I think that was one of the critical things as well, was Rush's Gragas kind of making a return to this game. It had been banned out by Impulse in the past, and getting the flash and a kill on a Phoenix destroyed that lane for him entirely. It meant Xiao got to free farm, and then once that happened, since Xiao was ahead, the things that didn't happen in game 2 when he was behind on Yasuo, when they had those chaotic fights in the jungle, was generally when Team Impulse was able to come out with some really big Team Impulse-like fights. They turn competitive games into things that look like solo queue because they get big goal leads and they just fight all the time.
Yeah, you hit on that perfectly. I mean, Impulse is all about chaos, a somewhat organized chaos for them. For the other team, they're clueless. They don't know what to do, and they're looking for these small skirmishes. So I'm going to use that to get into our first replay because we're going to go into the top side of the map, and this is an example of Impulse finding multiple 2v1s and 2v2s all in the same area of the map. It doesn't look like a 5v5 team fight.
And the game was actually pretty close at this point. There were several kills on Quas's Hecarim. So let's get into this section right now. This is probably the final fight.
This is actually the final fight, so this might be backwards here.
It's fine. This is an example, we're going to use this anyway, of the late game team fight, where if this game had been closer and not so heavily snowballed, Team Liquid would have been okay. Look at the zoning ultimate from the Azir. Gets down a lot of damage while Quas is able to zoom in for a giant ultimate. But Piglet had been instantly killed because Xiao does too much burst. And then the chase over, Phoenix lived for a really long time. Imagine if he was actually dealing meaningful damage during these fights as opposed to little baby stabs he was getting out of his soldiers there. And it could have been a substantially different game. That was a team fight with a 15,000 gold differential by the end of the game.
Well, and that's when we talk about this mid lane matchup being so pivotal, and it's becoming more evident that these two players here are going to be where the series might hinge, in that Azir and Kassadin, both very fantastic late-game champions. Yeah. As you mentioned, if the gold difference had been in the other fashion, with that zoning ultimate from Azir, he was untouchable from that side of his wall for about 15 seconds, free hitting.
It seemed like a long time, but that's the thing with Xiao's Kassadin, is he can do a little baby hop over that. It's a small jump now from Kassadin, but it comes out so frequently. We've seen some Kassadins actually in other regions do Athenes and Roa, which is like a crazy combination because if you get a kill as well as smacking someone with your W, it's 43% of your max mana back.
Which is absurd.
But Xiao didn't even need that because he was winning the fights before he hit max Riftwalk stacks. Totally viable thing. We've seen 3 different Kassadin builds actually. It's the Roa Zanyas, the Roa Luden's which we saw from Inox in the promotion tournament, and then the Roa Athenes. He's actually really picking up steam in this game where we're having a lot of team fights, but a lot of long, drawn-out team fights with fairly few priority targets.
Exactly.
Right?
When you look at
Heavy
these
tanks.
hyper-carry ADs.
Hyper-carry ADs and fewer tanks. So the Kassadin here in this game was able to single out the Azir and the Vayne, who would have been great picks assuming a much tankier team without the assassination threat. It's kind of the meta shifting in one direction and then shifting back with that last pick from Kassadin.
All right, well, I'm not entirely certain whether or not we have the other replay. If we do, hopefully we'll pull it up onto your screen right now. If not, we'll continue talking about other things.
Yeah.
We do have it. Here it comes. This is the one we intended to look at first. We were going to look at both. So this is the illustration of the skirmish and chaos that the Impulse lives for when they play these games.
Yeah, and it's also the speed at which they find these fights. One thing we won't see in this replay because we're in teamfight mode is the Azir ultimate came back the second after he died, which he needed for peel. So you can see this right at the start. Both top laners are actually TPing in from the minimap, and it's all about Phoenix getting rushed into a poor decision right there. He was trying to run over, Rush destroyed him with the tandem of Xiao, but it's just that mobility that Team Impulse has. When they get ahead, they are extremely confident of forcing everybody jumps the walls, nowhere is safe, and this was the big moment where you kind of thought the game was over, even though both top laners could TP in by the time Quas got there, because Impulse plays so quickly, everybody was dead. And that was kind of a perfect illustration of what Azir couldn't have happened to him during that game, and Phoenix got abused.
And the important thing to note is that fight originated in the top lane. The aggression started in the top lane. That's why the top laners
That's why everyone was rotating up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Impulse is more than happy to divert from their original plan of attack. I feel like when we talk about split-second decision-making and ability to pivot within game, that is somewhere that their somewhat solo queue mentality actually helps them because they're more willing to fall into situations and go with the flow of the game as opposed to being stubborn to what the team comp is supposed to do on the side of Team Liquid.
One of the best teams in the LCS for that when they have a lead and when they have a team composition that fits them. Freak was mentioning in one of the earlier casts that when they actually fall behind, their mid-game decision-making doesn't work out because they have 17 different things and different plays they could use, assuming a lead. But as soon as that lead isn't there, those 17 different things result in 0 good plays. So that early gank by Rush and the early jungle pressure is so critical in these games for Team Impulse.
Yeah, I was having a conversation a little bit earlier about how this series might play out. And for me, it felt as though when you look at these two teams in a vacuum, Liquid has more opportunities to win in terms of avenues that they could win through.
Right.
With Impulse, it's we have to play strong early champions, laning champions, get ahead, and then use that to in an aggressive fashion to force team fights. They can still team fight, but they have to be ahead to do it. Liquid has more options to stall out the game because ultimately they believe and think and have shown that they are the better team fight team in the late game. So for them, finding ways to stall out the game, there are more of those than there are to finitely close out a game.
Yeah, the most interesting thing about this, though, is now we're entering the third game with picks and bans on the same side. And they were talking on the caster desk right before we shot into this one, how do they deal with Xiao? Because as long as he doesn't pick himself Yasuo, he has been dominant in this series. And they get the last pick in the last game.
And we were questioning at the beginning of the day what his champion pool looked like. Well, now he's brought out Kassadin. He's shown his Orianna. We know Karthus is there as well as Vladimir. It doesn't look like there's going to be an easy answer in terms of saying, well, let's just ban these 3. Put him on Yasuo. He's shown us that he has the expanded pool to help out there. So I will as well be curious to see what Liquid can do going into this next game. Team Impulse are just 1 game away from claiming that 3rd place and 20 extra championship points. Meet us back here in 3.5 to see if they can do it in Game 4 against Team Liquid. Don't go anywhere.
Gotta make.
I'm so. Whoa. Gremlin. Wait. They just. Dominate. Okay, yeah.
And he flies right for Dominate, tries to take a bite out of the hindsight on the red side. The rocket comes through actually for Apollo to clean that up, and they may be able to continue this fight. Xiao with another rift forward could end another champion's life.
Finally, Impact rejoins the battle. Phoenix going to hit up in the back line. Rush taking up a lot of pain, though, as Xiao gets in on a Dominate.
Impact into the fight, gets bounced back by Emperor's Divide. Nobody chases on the Captain Boots follow-up there, but they still take down Dominate.
Impulse are going to be winning Game 3 here.